Stage 1 is to remove the stereo bezel trim using a plastic trim removal tool. Start in the bottom right hand corner and work your way round until the bezel releases from the stereo. Stage 2 is to remove the climate control panel. Again, using your plastic removal tool. Start at the top and work your way round until the climate control panel releases. Stage 4 is to use a torque screwdriver to remove the screws beneath the stereo. These are located directly underneath on the right hand and left hand side. Stage 4 is to release the stereo retaining pins. So where you've just removed the torque screws from, pull directly down on the silver tabs on the right and left hand side. Stage 5 is then to slide the stereo out of the dashboard and rest it gently onto the centre console. Stage 6 is to begin installing CarPlay and Android Auto decoder. The first step is to install the new wiring loom. First start by removing the large black plug from the rear of the stereo and locating the fibre optic cable, which will be seen as 2 orange cables. Remove this from the black connector as we will need to relocate this into the new loom. You can then proceed to connect the female section of the new loom to the existing black plug that we just removed from the rear of the stereo. The next step is to install the fibre optic cable into the new male section of the new loom. The next step is to install the male section of the new loom into the rear of the stereo. The next step is to install the LVDS video splitter cable. To achieve this, we need to remove the LVDS cable from the back of the stereo, install the splitter as labelled, and plug in the existing screen LVDS to the splitter cable as well. Once you've completed the installation of the stereo loom and the new LVDS cable, you can then proceed to feed the cables from the stereo void down towards the climate control, ready to install the stereo again. Once you've pushed the stereo back into place, we can begin the installation of the CarPlay decoder. Firstly, start by getting the decoder and setting the dip switches to the correct setting as per the instructions. Then proceed to connect the white connector from the stereo loom to the decoder, and then the accessory cable, ensuring you also install the Wi-Fi antenna. You can then proceed to connect the LVDS cable and also ensure that the 3.5mm jack cable is installed into the aux out port on the loom. You can now proceed to turn the ignition on and allow the car stereo to boot. Then hold down the return button to access the decoder main menu. Select CarPlay or Android Auto and follow the instructions to connect your phone. Then simply go onto your phone, into your Bluetooth settings, find the decoder Bluetooth name and carry out the pairing. Ensure that you activate CarPlay and follow the prompts on screen. Once the Bluetooth connection is complete, you will have access to CarPlay or Android Auto via the screen. The final step is to carry out the audio settings via Bluetooth in the Mercedes system, covering the next step. Before we carry out the Bluetooth setup on the Mercedes system, access the settings menu on the decoder and turn on Use OEM Bluetooth. The next step is to pair the decoder to the Mercedes system via Bluetooth. To do this, we need to access the audio settings on the Mercedes system and pair a new device. Simply searching for the decoder's Bluetooth name and pairing it with the stereo, and then set your audio source on your Mercedes system to Bluetooth audio. The final step is to reverse disassembly. Firstly, place the wiring in the stereo void so that the stereo will go back into the opening smoothly. Then reinstall the stereo. Push the locating pins back into place. Install the two Torx screws. Locate the decoder in the void behind the climate control. Reinstall the climate control panel, and finally reinstall the bezel. You have now completed the installation of your CarPlay and Android Auto decoder.